Hey guys, Karasiv here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe King Excalibur and King of Arthur Wonder Ride book from Kamen Saber. This is the signature weapon of a special form for Saber, along with the Wonder Ride book that lets him attain that form. This set includes the aforementioned weapon and book, as well as armor parts for the RKF Saber. So, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the King of Arthur Wonder Ride book. This is a steel blue story type book, which is obviously based on the legend of King Arthur. On the front we see the cover with the title in both English and the Wonder language. We have an image of King Excalibur stuck in a stone, similar to the legend of the actual Excalibur. You have the indicator for which slot it goes in, as well as the words Kamen on the side, as usual. Then we can take a listen to the two sounds it makes on its own. First, the title announcement. Then we'll open it to the story page for the synopsis. And here we have our story page with several things labeled. So here you see labeling for the sword, the armor, an interesting bit of a silhouette here that has the words body written repeatedly along here, and then arm repeated along here. Next, we'll use the King of Arthur book with the Seiken sword driver, starting by using it on its own. So this has a generic Wonder Rider transformation, and does say Asao or Arthur O, the way it'd say King Arthur in Japanese. Then we'll bring in the Brave Dragon book to use alongside it. And there we have the transformation into Kamen Saber Dragon Arthur. Now we can look at the sword driver with the two books open to show the image of Dragon Arthur. So now we have the Henshin page for the King of Arthur book. We can see the armored arm that is holding the King Excalibur. It has various texts along it, such as the title and Kamen, and does connect to the Brave Dragon Henshin page. So then we have the special attacks, starting with the push attack. The Hissatus Dokuha. The Hissatus Giri. and the Shutoku Nisen. Next, we'll look at the armor and weapon that can be equipped to your RKF Saber Brave Dragon. So first, you have the armor, which is in the same color as the Wonder Ride book. We're going to see this armored face on the side with gold for a bit of mask detailing. See the arm here, as well as this cloak on the side, which has a resemblance to the Seiken, as well as an RKF-sized version of the King Excalibur. So, to equip the armor, you want to have the back straightened out. I've got a peg here and here, as well as a little clip down here. What you want to do is wrap it around the shoulder of Saber. Thread this underneath. Basically peg it in at those 2 points. So something like that. And here we have Kamen Saber, Dragon Arthur. So we can now see, have a bit of armor covering up the left side of the chest, as well as new armor for the arm. It doesn't stay on the best, so it might take a few tries to actually get it on securely. Once it is on, there is a ball joint at the shoulder. However, there is no joint at the elbow, so there's a bit of a limited range of motion you can get out of this side of the body. But with this, you equip Saber with both the Kain Kenrekka as well as the King Excalibur. And again, it's going to take a little bit of work to really get used to having this in a position where it will reliably stay on. After that, we'll look at the King Excalibur itself. So this sword is done up in steel blue, silver, and gold. So it has a lot of nice details to it. We got the handle here with a trigger. For a little size comparison, it's about the same length as the Kain Kenrekka, but definitely has more girth. A lot of nice intricate details on it. And here on the back, we can see all of the various buttons and switches. Got the speaker here, as well as the battery compartment here. Doesn't have a power switch, and it takes button cell batteries that are already included, so you just have to pull out the tab to start playing with it. So, while it is the King Excalibur, pulling the trigger will get you an attacking sound, where it'll say Jakiin, sound effect for slashing, which definitely gives me kind of flashbacks to all the verbal sound effects in Exade. And if we press the trigger 5 times in a row, we get a Hissatus Dokuha to activate the King Slash, which is Saber Dragon Arthur's finishing move. So, for the transformation, now go around to the back. Start by rotating the leg, so it's straight like this. Hold down this switch, then straighten out the body. So like that. Then press and hold this button and rotate the front part 180 degrees. It'll come up here. Rotate the head and then slide forward. Then come down to the sword. We'll press this lever to unlatch it. Then open up the hand. Pull apart the arms. Straighten them out. And there we have King of Arthur. Now transform it back. Just going to do the opposite process. And when it comes to this, you want to make sure that this peg goes into this hole when you have the hands together. And this will tab into here. This will have a separate tab that will click in here. Once again, hold this, rotate this all the way around. Let's see how this part rotates with it. Then change the angle there, and rotate this like inwards. And there we have King Excalibur again. Now there's also some sound effects to go along with it. However, before we do that, we'll just have this slot here, which you can use to plug in a Wonder Ride book, such as King of Arthur, to sort of start the transformation properly, or at least accurate to the show. And this just works similarly to the attack slot on the Fusoken Hayate. So from there, have the button back here, which will press twice to start the transformation sequence. And so, once again, we can complete the transformation. And then look at King of Arthur in detail. So here we have the head with the golden mask and red eyes, and a blade tip sticking out of its head, similar to the sword driver users. Also similar to them, we have a blade running down the chest, so a cool golden belt buckle. Along the shoulders, it has King Arthur written in the Wonder language, as well as on the sword that King of Arthur holds. We got the waist with skirt armor, as well as the legs. As far as the articulation goes, you can rotate the head thanks to transformation. Arms rotate around 360 degrees. Got a rotation joint at the shoulder thanks to the transformation, as well as an elbow joint that's also thanks to the transformation. Now the sword is stuck in the left hand here, as it is built on, so it can't be removed. And while it's like this, you can take the armor piece and then plug in the mini King Excalibur onto it. And take this and plug it into the bottom of the sword. Something like that. Which then turns the weapon into a double blade. But this can also be used with Saber Dragon Arthur. So, with Saber alongside King of Arthur, which also gives us a good sense of scale between the two of them, we can now initiate a sword change. So, for that, I'm going to take the figure, take the side armor, swing it all the way up to the top, and then put Saber's horn into this divot here. And here we have Kamen Saber sword mode. Unfortunately for mine, it did come a little bit warped, so it doesn't go in quite straight, but you can see that with this, he basically becomes a sword. Then, we can take the hand here, open up, and you can see I have a peg hole here in the back. So we will plug this into here. It probably goes into hole in the back. And there we have a dual-wielding King of Arthur. One sec. And we're back. So, now we have King of Arthur dual-wielding both his normal sword as well as Kamen Saber Dragon Arthur. And there are some sound effects to go along with it. So, we'll just initiate the transformation sound again. And if that song sounds familiar, it's because it uses the same tune as the Diago Speedy transformation. Now we press the button one more time. You get the sword change activation. And if we press the trigger on the leg, we can then activate the King Slash again. And there we go. Overall, this set is quite different from the previous 2 years' Rider mechs, though it also does borrow ideas from previous Toku shows. So, starting off with King Excalibur / King of Arthur itself, it is pretty cool to have something that changes from a weapon into a robot instead of from a vehicle into a robot. And instead of having the rider go inside of it, instead it includes parts to actually change the rider into a separate form and then use that as a weapon. Now, as far as the transformation from sword to robot goes, as very similar to Daikenjin Zuban from Go-Go Sensei Boukenger, and the sword mode for Saber, or the sword change, is quite similar to the final form rides from Master Rider Jakiin. Now, along with that, you also get the King of Arthur Wonder Ride book, which you can use with both your sword driver and with the King Excalibur itself. So overall, this set gives you a lot of different playability, both on its own, as well as with other toys in the line, so I'd highly recommend it. Next time, I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Onju Ken Suzune. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is Kero50, Riding off.